Hello, everyone. My name is Elliott Zelinskas, and you're watching International School Connect, where I connect with the international school leaders to bring you the best tips to apply to get international school jobs. Today, I am happy to bring on a guest. This is Mr. Dan Reynolds. He is the head of school at Tokyo International School. Welcome, Mr. Reynolds.
Hey, Elliot, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Today's topic is a small but important one, and that is what is the best time to apply? Now, Mr. Reynolds, I know that you're in Tokyo, and I also know that you've been the principal and head of school in a couple of different places. Before we begin, do you just want to introduce yourself, how you got to Tokyo, and how do you like it there?
Yeah, sure. So my story, like a lot of international educators, is one of those ones where I didn't expect to be where I am. So I grew up in very rural Canada, only 200 people in my hometown. And then I always wanted to be a teacher since I was in fourth grade. I remember writing, I admired I was really loved my PE teachers at the time and wanted to become a PE teacher. So I went to school, got my degree, got ready to be a teacher. And then in Canada, there were no teaching jobs. So had to go internationally, and I thought, oh, I'll go teach English in Japan. I just fell into that. I heard about this English teaching job in Japan. I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. So took an English teaching job in Japan, and then found out about international schools while I was in Japan. They were looking for a qualified PE teacher in the middle of summer. Fortunately for me, a teacher had backed out on their contract, and they were frantically looking for somebody. So I was just happened to be the right person in the right time. Worked at three different schools in Japan over a 20-year period. Then my son was born in Japan, grew up here, but as a Canadian, of course, he was playing ice hockey. And if any Canadians hear me call it ice hockey, I'll be in trouble, but it's what it is here. So playing hockey. So we went to North America, where I took on. So back up a little bit. I was at St. Maur International School. I was a PE teacher, and then I became the athletic director, and then I moved to Yokohama International School, where I was the activities director. Then I moved on to Sapporo, where I was a principal. Then moved to North America, like I said, became the principal of what's called the International School of Indiana, the upper school principal. Then my son, was out of high school, so found out about an opportunity in Europe. So took on a deputy headship in Switzerland for a couple of years. But I was only in Switzerland for 1 year when I was contacted and say, "Hey, head of school in Tokyo's up. Are you interested?" And I knew I was coming back to Japan at some point. So took the job here in Tokyo, and I've been here. This is my 7th year back in Japan.
Excellent. I've been to Japan for 2 weeks and absolutely loved it. So that must be quite an experience to be there for so long.
Yeah, no, I mean it's my home now. I mean, I love Canada and I love going home every summer, but Japan. This is, gosh, half of my life here now. It's a fantastic country. If you haven't visited, you definitely should.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into the best time to apply, Mr. Reynolds. First and foremost, let's talk about Japan is a really popular place that people like to go to teach abroad. And does it make a difference when someone should apply if they're already living in Japan versus if they're back in their home country or already teaching at a different post?
Yeah, I mean, in our case, and in most cases, having worked, this is my fourth school in Japan, I would say it doesn't matter whether you're local or whether you're coming from overseas. Schools will post their jobs. Typically, it's getting earlier and earlier. It's interesting because when I was first working, jobs were posted in January. You would go to hiring fairs in Bangkok and London mid-January, early February. Now, I mean, our renewal date, teachers have to let us know if they're coming back November 1st. So our jobs get posted early November. Many schools are the same. I would say mid-November to early December. Most schools in Japan will post their jobs either on their website or they'll use one of the providers that's out there. Search or Schroll. Well, it was Schroll. Tess has just bought Schroll now,
I saw
but I'm
that.
one of those agencies.
Sure.
Yeah. So I
Okay,
would
and
say.
so if it's getting pushed back earlier and earlier, just as a sort of rule of thumb,
Hmm.
for all of the teachers watching this, is there a best month that you would recommend to apply, perhaps specifically to a school in Japan?
Yeah, I would say start scanning the websites of schools you're interested in early November. Again, I mean, there are some schools out there that give you a bonus if you tell them you're not coming back in September, October. So I would say even, for those really, really elite schools, look early October.
Oh,
Um,
great.
yeah, I mean, some schools, like I said, I know of a school out there that will give you a bonus. couple of schools that will give you a bonus if you tell them you're leaving early, just so they can go out and recruit earlier. We went the other way around. We actually give a bonus if you tell us you're coming back. So that's how we moved ours in November. So if you tell us you're coming back in November, we give you a bonus that says thanks for coming back. And then we post all of our jobs probably the first week of November. But I would say start looking October, November, and scanning the websites.
Got it. Okay, that's very helpful. Next, Mr. Reynolds, do you prioritize applications that come from a search or scroll via or in compared to reaching out directly to you or another principal at the school?
Yeah, we only accept applications that come through the provider actually. So because I mean those provide a reference score immediately. So if you apply, I mean, we had, we just finished hiring actually a couple of days ago, but for our elementary PYP positions, we have over 200 applicants. So if you reach out, by yourself, where no one's, so if you go through those agencies, we get to see your reference score immediately, and that's one of the big things I know. Talking about that's one of the things that we look for immediately is okay, how's the reference score? Oh, the reference score is good. Okay, let's put those candidates in this pile.
Interesting. Good to know. When doing a little bit of research before this, before we hit the record button, I saw that schools in Japan start in April. Is that true for international schools too?
Yeah, no, that's the Japanese national system, and some international schools that are more catered towards Japanese students. The vast majority of us run on a Western calendar, like in North America. We start, almost all of us start in mid-August and finish up in mid-June.
Mm,
So
gotcha. And for anyone who was unaware of, the peak or best time to apply, let's call them, the late appliers, the people who are applying a little bit late in the season, any tips that they can do in order to still try and get noticed in the bunch of, like you said, hundreds of people already applying?
yeah, I'd say like almost all of us, we'll put the application window in there. So if you apply within the application window, we'll look at you. Obviously, the earlier you apply, the longer you're going to probably get looked at. But you don't, as long as you apply within the application window, I think you're fine in almost all the schools, certainly ours. I mean, I did get some people reaching out recently saying, "Oh, I see I've missed the application deadline. Is it too late?" And I'm like, "I'm really sorry. We have 200 applications. So yeah, we're already into the process." So
That competitive, amazing. So many people applying. Okay, great
if
to
you want to
know.
live in Tokyo, I mean, it's a little bit different than other places, but Tokyo's a pretty sought after destination. So we're quite lucky here.
Absolutely. Okay, Mr. Reynolds, actually, this is my last question that I have, and I think we'll wrap it up with this. It's another time related question. And if there was a single most important factor regarding timing for any teacher watching this video, what's the best advice you can give to them in regards to applying to a job in Japan, perhaps at a school like Tokyo International School?
Yeah, I would say, we're part of Japan, TIS, Tokyo International. We're part of what's called JACUS, the Japan Council of International Schools. We've got a website. You can see everybody who's part of our organization. And I would say scan that if you're interested in Japan. There's 30 schools in that organization, and all of the schools have to go through rigorous accreditation. You're going to a real bona fide proper school. Look through that website, pick out some schools you might be interested in, or all of them. And then not really with timing, but I would say, like I said, in early October, just take some time out every day to scan their websites, even if it's 15 minutes, just quickly, where it's pretty easy to find the job postings on each one of our websites. You just have those schools you're really interested in, and just, from early October, November, make sure you keep an eye on them and keep checking them as often as you can, because things can pop up when you never know. So you can look at a website thinking that no, there's no jobs for me this year, and then a week later your job pops up. So
That's a good point. Something could happen like your first job when
yeah.
someone, cuts out and then the school needs to post another job, even if it's late, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things. When this job got posted in the summer, and there were only two applicants, myself and one other person, because no one was even looking at posts at that point. So
Excellent. Well, Mr. Reynolds, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us.
sure, anytime.